We cannot be mere consumers of our governance. We must be participants and we must be co-creators. And if you aspire to be same, we've got you covered. So hello, good morning, everyone. This is Himanshi Kaushik, your host of the day, and I welcome you all in today's webinar on Y20 in G20, the youth in governance. And I hope that you all are safe, sound, and happy at wherever you're taking this webinar from. So before we know a lot about governance and the knowledge we're going to get through our session today, let me introduce you to our experts today. We have two experts with us today. First, Minarul sir, Dr. Minarul Biswas, Assistant Professor, Political Science, Lovely Professional University. He is a PhD holder from Jamia Millia Islamia and has been a recipient of Junior Research Fellowship of University Grants Commission. He has his membership in Bengal Institute of Political Studies and Indian Political Science Association. He has been a part of various national and international conferences and has participated in building programs in number of capacities as well. His special interests conclude at Indian administration and international relations. He has been teaching students since 2016 and has multiple publications under his name. Sir, it's a pleasure to be here and to be able to hear you in the webinar. And I welcome you here, sir, in the webinar.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, I just take this moment to introduce you and all attendees to our second expert. She is our admission nominee as well, Ms. Rachna Bajaj, Assistant Officer, Divisions of Admissions, Lovely Professional University. She will be actually providing her assistance to all the attendees and the participants on the process of admission, like how they can take part in admission, where they need to go, and what all is available in the university. So she will be actually navigating all the students and the attendees through the admission process. So I welcome you in here, ma'am. Looking forward for an amazing session. And I shall take no time now, and I should take no delay. And sir, over to you, Minarul sir, and looking forward for an amazing session, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I wish a very good morning to all the participants who have joined through this virtual platform. I welcome them all to this talk on Y20 in G20, the youth in governance. Particularly, I think the youth and particularly all the Indians, all the people in Indian society and all over the world are very much aware that presently India is holding G20 presidency. And we have been talking a lot about G20, what is its relevance, how it can help the entire world, particularly international political economy. And so many things are being discussed. And India is trying to utilize this G20 presidency in a great manner. And in that direction, the government of India is trying to engage all the sections of the society to know their views. And after that, in the final summit, when will be held in November 2023. So all these views, recommendations, and all these findings will be collected together as a report and will be submitted in the seminar as a solution, as a guidelines, as a direction to the entire world. So in that context, understanding Y20 in G20 is very much important. So when we are talking about G20 in general, so it is very much important to understand what we are doing, in fact, as far as the youth of the country is concerned and youth of the other countries are concerned. Before that, so let me just introduce the split. There are few terms: Y20, G20, youth, and governance. I think, as I already told, that all of us are aware of these terms, particularly G20. Particularly the students are, I hope they are also aware of this, what is Y20. So let us understand from the basic, some basic facts as far as G20 and Y20 is concerned. Now, this G20 that was founded in 1999. And, G20 can be understood as a platform for international economic governance. So when the world is suffering from many problems, particularly poverty, unemployment, all these problems have a root in the economic issues, in the economy, world economy or the global economy. So there is a background that when there was a crisis in 1990s, so to address this crisis, this platform came into existence in 1991 to understand international economic governance and accordingly just to come up with solutions and to give directions to the world, how their economy can be managed, how that can be improved and all. So in that particular context, so it is very, you should understand that to address the global economic problems, so G20 came into existence. And today, G20 is working as an international platform for addressing the problems in economic governance. Now, so that is the purpose or that is the objective. So let us try to see some of the data which will simply tell you how important or how significant G20 is. If you just look at the data, so it says that G20 countries, so G20 that consists of 19 countries plus European Union. So just imagine these 20 countries, there are about 200 countries in the world. Now these 20 countries, they are representing around 85% of the global GDP. 75% of the global trade that is being done by these 20 member countries and including European Union. As well as, so three things which are to be noted. 85% of the global GDP, 75% of the global trade, and 2/3 of world population. So they are residing in the G20 member countries. So 2/3, that is 66% of the world population, they are residing in this G20 member countries. And though this G20 started with the aim of addressing the macroeconomic issues of the international economy, later on, as you know that everything is related to your finance, your economic strength, and all these things. So when in course of time, the world is facing with so many problems, when we are talking about SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, health issues, agriculture, energy, environment, climate change, anti-corruption. I mean, if you really want to address these problems, your economic strength has to be taken into consideration. To put it very simply, if you are economically not well off, if a country is not economically stronger, so this is talking about these sustainable development goals, health issues. So that is, I think, that is meaningless, or this will not be effective. So in this country, so what is important that is to understand this G20 country at present is dealing with so many issues concerning the entire world. And just looking at this data, you can understand, it is easily understood that these G20 countries are having the determining or decisive factor that in what direction international political economy will go. In fact, the success or failure of international political economy or international economy will be largely decided by these G20 countries. Because this large amount of, majority of the trade, GDP, population are all belonging to this G20 countries. Now, so this platform G20, this as I told you, this is a group of 19 countries plus one organization, that is European Union. Very interestingly, it does not have any permanent secretariat. As I told you, before G20, there are so many issues to be handled, to be taken care of, but it does not have any permanent secretariat. For example, as United Nations has a permanent secretariat, but G20 does not have any permanent secretariat. So in that context comes the question that if there is no permanent secretariat, then who are going to, take up the responsibilities, or who are going to, deal with these, issues, coordinate these issues, discussion, and there's coming up with different kinds of directions. Who will do that? And so it means when it does not have any permanent secretariat, it needs a coordinating agency or leadership. It needs a leadership, and how that leadership is given. So in that context, to understand that, we talk about G20 presidency and how this G20 presidency is given to the member countries. So it is on rotating basis. So every country, every member of this G20 annually, so they will hold this presidency on rotating basis, alphabetical order. And this G20 presidency, they will be responsible for, as I told you, to bring together all the agendas for G20, for the consultation, and for, addressing, for discussing the problems as far as international political economy is concerned. And in that very context, as I already told you, that currently India is holding that presidency of G20 from 1st December 2020 to 30th November 2020. Now, this G20 presidency is again working through different work streams. You can say, in a common parlance, we can say through different branches, different departments, this G20 presidency is working. So, in their term, it is called work stream. So there are different work stream to which the presidency, the country which is holding the presidency, so they take care of all the responsibilities for that particular year. Okay, so there are different work streams. So there are three work streams. Work stream one is finance track, Sherpa track, and engagement groups. Now, through these different work streams, finance track, Sherpa track, and engagement groups, the G20 presidency country, they are organizing the seminars, the conferences, the discussions, the meetings, and all, whatever is necessary to discuss the problems of international political economy. Okay. So, there are, as I told you, there are three work streams: finance track, Sherpa track, and engagement. Now, when I am talking about Y20, particularly in this context, Y20 come into picture. Y20 is one of the groups of the engagement groups. So finance track, under finance track, there are different groups. Under Sherpa track, there are different groups. Similarly, under engagement groups, there are different, groups. And one of the group is Y20. There is C20 is there, for example. That is, the group of the civil society members. There is Parliament 20. There is T20, Think Tank 20. So Y20 is one of the engagement group of this G20 presidency. And what is the focus? Y20, that stands for Youth 20. So Y20, that stands for Youth 20. And under this Youth 20, the presidency countries, so they are trying to bring together all the youth leaders of the members of this G20. And why it is important? Through this platform, through this Y20 engagement group, what we are trying to do, or the presidency countries trying to do, that engaging the youth, just listening from them, what is their problem and how those problems can be addressed. So it is like engaging, bringing the youth to the process of governance. So that is why the topic is Y20 in G20, like youth in governance. What I mean to argue that through this Y20 youth engagement group, G20 is trying to bring the youth in the mainstream of governance. And how? As I told you, that by understanding their problems, by talking to them, and in that very context, the students or the participants, whoever is present, I think you are aware that all over India, different universities are organizing different seminars, conferences. There is a particular, discussion forum, that is youth consultation. Under this youth consultation, the different universities are organizing seminars, conference, and from different universities, they are inviting the students. The students are made aware of the problems. The G20 presidency country, through this group, they are trying to understand what exactly the problems of the youth, the challenges faced by the youth, and particularly expectation of the youth, and why it is so. See why you are focusing on the youth. Just to bring that point at home, so I'll just tell you the some other data. So when we talk about youth, how do you define the term youth? So there are, from time to time, from country to country, from organization to organization, the youth is defined differently. Okay, for example, United Nations says that youth are those who are between the age of 15 and 24. National Youth Policy 2003 of India, so that defines youth as those person between the age of 13 and 35. Then in 2014, so that has been redefined. So now we are telling the population in the age group of 15 and 29 are considered as youth. And if that is the case, so let us just try to understand the youth population in the world first of all, and then India. So you can understand that 1.2 billion people, that is 16% of the population that belong to the youth. So the point is a large segment of the global population as well as a large segment of population of India, so that belong to that youth. Youth constitute a major portion of the population, whether it is in terms of the entire global population or Indian population. So if that is the case, if we really talk about governance, if we really talk about international economic governance, you cannot ensure an effective governance, whether it is in India or all over the world, by neglecting the population, which is significant in number. As I told you, that 1.2 billion people, 16% of the global population. At present, this population is going to increase by 1.3 billion. So, as of now, so the youth population is 1.2 billion, and by 2030, so it is going to increase. Now, if you talk about the data in India, so about 24% of Indian population are considered as youth. Okay. And India is regarded as young country because you can see again 66% of its entire population is under the age of 35 years. Okay, so just keeping that definitional issue aside, whether you will consider under the population about people under 24 years or 29 years, you can see at present 66% of India's population that is under the age of 35 years, and loosely they can be considered as the youth. So the point is, if we really talk about, it is very easily understood that by keeping this 66% of the population aside, or neglecting this 66% of the population aside, you cannot think of a proper governance and effective governance. And that is why, very rightly, this Y20 that is trying to understand the issues of the governance. And Y20 2023, this year, the theme is global perspective. Global perspective to every problems, which this Y20 is trying to understand. And there are 5 themes under this Y20. And our, this what we are concerned today, what we are trying to understand today is one of the theme is shared future, youth in democracy and governance. And the concern is very simple: participation of youth in institutional and formal political process. Okay, so it is very clear that without neglecting these people, you cannot think of effective governance. And if you really want to make them effective participants of this entire global governance, economic governance, or or if you talk about domestic governance in any country, by neglecting this youth population, you cannot think of the effective governance. And in that very context, coming to the picture Y20. Okay. So under this, again, this youth and governance, under this youth in democracy and governance, we are talking, there are different themes, there are sub-themes. Y20 is trying to understand the youth participation, the problems of youth in legislature and politics, policy making and governance, leadership and governance training, and youth in community governance. It simply is focusing on the youth participation in all aspects which are related either directly or indirectly to the governance. And that is the relevance, or exactly my argument is what I mean to say, or I make it very clear that when India is having this G20 presidency for this particular year, until 2023 November, 30th November, by using this G20 platform under the engagement group Y20, India is leading that, you can say, the mission of bringing the youth in the mainstream of, governance process. Okay. So the point is that participation of the youth in the governance has to be increased, and already I told you that G20 is trying to ensure their participation. Then the question comes that how that can be done. If we, that is, just we are very much sure that youth are the significant population of India as well as the globe. Their participation is very important. It is very logical that without keeping them in the dark, you cannot think of governance. Okay, if that is sure, then the next question comes: how that can be done? Okay, and in that context, the government of India, so they are having, different policies. They are trying to increase the youth participation, the students. For example, the different ministries of government of India, so they are inviting internships from the students. There is Niti Aayog, as you know. So Niti Aayog invites internship from the students. It means that students should not simply focus on their, traditional method of learning. In addition to that, they have to be given the practical exposure. So in that context, the government, the different ministries, they are offering internships. The different institutions, they are offering internships. And if we really, as I told you, that what is to be done there, quality has to be there, capacity building, holistic development of the youth has to be ensured. So for the effective governance, you need youth participation. And for effective youth participation, you need the capacity building of the youth. And that capacity building can be done or contributed by, multiple stakeholders. Okay, so, and those multiple stakeholders can be the family, the institutions, society, and the youth themselves. So I think the role of these different stakeholders are very much important. When I talk about that, what can be the role of the family? The elders in the family, so they need to give the proper guidance, proper direction for the youth, okay, for their children, for their sons and daughters. That proper family guidance is very much important for their capacity building. The institutions, mainly, I strongly believe that the educational institutions have a greater role to the capacity building of the or holistic development of the youth. So without youth participation, effective governance cannot be ensured. And without the capacity building of the youth, the participation, even if there is participation of the youth, so that cannot be ensured. Now, when I talk about institutions, the academic institutions that play the greater role. And in that context, how the academic institutions, how the universities and colleges, how they are imparting the education, that is very much important. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the academic institutions to give the maximum exposure, to, adopt the newer methods of teaching and learning process, to create a very congenial environment for the students so that they can, make the full utilization of their inherent or inbuilt potential. And if you talk about in Indian context, there are different institutions, academic colleges, universities. They are doing the this job. But again, what I'll just try to just point out here, in this context, choosing the right institution is very much important. So in this context, the family has also a particular role, that to which institution they will send their words for their education and for their overall development. Yes, in India, there are so many institutions. As a teacher in this university, as I teach my students, as I'm very much aware of the pedagogy, curriculum, how the students are taught. So I can tell you that we are trying to ensure, or we are very much aware of this necessity of the youth. We are very much aware of this responsibility. And in fact, in our classroom teaching, by engaging the students through different means, internships, and different methods we follow in the classroom, for their development. So what I mean to say that in this particular context, if you are really concerned that you have to be a effective participant, remember that being a participant in governance, that is not enough. You have to be a potential effective participant in the governance. Then only the governance can be improved. And when you are talking about effective governance, your quality has to be ensured. And in this context, as I told you, the family has the role, institution has the role, and the society and the youth themselves have the role. So when I talk about society has a role, I include all the institutions, whether it is formal institutions, whether it is informal institutions, and all. And youth themselves have their also role. So now you are given the platform. For example, you are taking admission in a university, in a college. You are given the platform. Now you have also have a responsibility to develop yourselves, to utilize, to make the full utilization of the opportunities which are given to you. Okay. So in that context, I'll say that the youth themselves have also a greater role by being active. As in our institution, we always do that. We try to develop the critical thinking skill. In fact, just when in many of the institutions, there are the newer method, the scientific method. For example, there is a Bloom's taxonomy. Many of the institutions, this is not followed, but we try to, we just follow this. Sorry, we try to, but in fact, we follow this Bloom's taxonomy and in our teaching methods, so that we simply don't limit ourselves to the rote learning. We simply don't limit ourselves to bookish learning. We try to, encourage. We try to develop the critical thinking skill, higher order thinking skill. And as I told you, only when the youth is capable in all these respects, then only I think they can contribute better as far as the governance is concerned. So, just I would like to conclude by saying that G20, which is a global economic institution, with the aim of addressing the problems of economic governance, they are including all the issues, you can say almost all the issues which are directly or indirectly which are related to the global governance or any country's domestic governance. And in that process, so G20 is there as a platform to address the problems more effectively. And if the G20 is really wants to do, is really interested to do that, so G20 has to engage with multiple stakeholders. And in that direction, through these different scheme, tracks or box teams, different engagement groups, along with engaging the different sections of the society, G20 is also giving the opportunity. In fact, I'll say that G20 is bringing the youth into the focus. Okay. So, this Y20 is, in fact, working in that direction. And it will be, I mean, it is very interesting. I will find it very interesting to know that under Y20 there is a white paper. So all these issues, as I told you, there are different sub themes which are being elaborated. I mean, how the youth can be engaged in community governance, how the youth can be engaged in politics, governance, and all the issues. And again, we have to take up, I mean, the family or the youth themselves or the family have to, I think, a bit come out, have to take challenge. For example, if we really talk about youth in governance, so their political participation has to be ensured. And the common narrative is that politics is a very difficult terrain. So the youth should focus more on the studies. I think that is very true. That is the primary duty. The youth should focus on their studies, career building. But I think it is time for the elders of the society, for the family members, and the youth themselves, that they should also be they should be interested in taking part in politics. Until and unless they take part in politics, I mean, until and unless their political representation is ensured, I mean, they might remain sidelined. And again, I told you, so if they remain sidelined, so the governance as a whole, the concept or practice of governance, I think that will remain incomplete. So with this, I think if there is any question, with this I stop. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity to share my ideas with the participants.
Sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your immense valuable knowledge, sir. And we are grateful that you have credited your valuable time for us. And your way of explanation is really, really appreciated, sir. And it was really an insightful presentation. And sir, we do have certain questions. Okay, so with your permission, can we take up?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
So there's one question from Neeraj Jain, and he wants to know, how can we contribute? Please elaborate, sir. As in, how can we contribute in our governance?
Yes, I think in my deliberation, I already mentioned, but still, I told you that how can you contribute in the governance? Okay, so I told you that for your contribution, that all the stakeholders have the role. One is the government is giving the opportunity to you. For example, this platform G20 is, trying to listen to you. The students, they are inviting the students in different conferences. In fact, our institution, I mean, I took my students, few days back, when there was invitation from Punjab University, they organized one seminar, youth consultation. So they are trying to listen to the youth. What is their view? What is their problem? What they think? So to understand this, so when they invited us, our School of Law, so I took my students. So first of all, this platform is giving the opportunity to you to listen to you, first of all, to listen to your problems. And you should feel, interested. That is one thing. You should have an interest. That is one thing. Secondly, as I told you, your family has a, indirect role. In fact, in that youth consultation, one of the participants asked that the resource person that said, I'm interested to join politics, but my family, advises me to think on focus on studies. Okay, but that is why I'm saying, our elders in the family, they must be sensitive. They must be sensitized about this necessity in the present time. So they should not discourage their daughters and sons from taking part in these political issues. And secondly, what I can tell you that, as I told you, that it is choosing the right institution is very much important. You have to keep today's world is very much competitive. Okay, so there are so many problems. It is too much competitive. So you have to keep your eyes and ears open. So you have to be aware that in different institutions, as I mentioned, Niti Aayog, Ministry of External Affairs, different ministries, they are offering internship where you can join and you can actually understand how practically the things are being done. So you have to have the interest, you have to have the awareness that when it is coming, first of all. And I'll say, I don't know whether, as I told you that ultimately your family or you have to take a final decision. But if you ask my personal opinion, then I'll tell that, see, until and unless if you take challenge, if you always want to stay in comfort zone, so I think we cannot bring transformation. If we really want something great, so we have to take some challenge, we have to take some risk. You have to be confident by yourself, and you have to, your family members have to be sensitive. And it is, again, it is your duty to convince your parents or family members to do what you are interested in. And most importantly, I'm telling you that getting the right platform is very much important. Suppose you are taking admission in a college, in a university where there is no opportunity. So that is, I think that is not possible. So that is why if you are youth, if you are, I think, you are going to take admission in any institution, colleges, please be very sure, as we are very much particular about, when we purchase the things, our personal belongings, personal products. So similarly, choosing the institution, please take that very sincerely and seriously. So that is what I can tell.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I believe, sir, the query of the students have been resolved, and there are no queries now. So I think all the attendees have been listening carefully, and all the queries have been resolved. Now, so we have had some queries regarding admission process, and for this, I would want to request Rachna ma'am to take over the mic now and resolve the queries regarding admissions of all our attendees, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing fine and safe at your home. So I'll be just quickly sharing that how you can inquire about the programs which are available at Lovely Professional University, and what are the last dates and other basic details, and how you can get in touch with us related to these queries. So what you have to do is just simply visit our official website, which is www.lpu.in. And on the top, you can see an icon of admissions, where we have highlighted all the programs as per your eligibility, be it after 12th programs, after 10th diploma, after graduation for masters, or even after post-graduation, which covers the doctorate level programs. So let's say you want to explore for the after 12th bachelor's program. Once you click on it, all the disciplines related to this program will be available right in front of you. You have engineering, management, commerce, economics, and all the other programs. Like here we have our law program. So if you want to inquire for any of the program related to law, just click on it. You can see that we have two icons. One is BA LLB honors, and another one is BBA LLB honors. So I'll just quickly show you an overview of our BA LLB honors program. So as you can see that the program duration goes for 5 years with total 10 semesters. And the eligibility criteria clearly states that students should have minimum 60% in 12th with English as a compulsory subject. And a student also needs to qualify any of this national level test. So currently CUET has not conducted yet, but yes, students have already registered. So you can go for LPU NEST exam, and we also consider CLAT for the eligibility criteria. The LPU NEST exam which you will be applying, it will be not only for eligibility purposes, but it will also help you avail better scholarship benefits. And once you scroll down, you can see some of the achievements, some of the ranking this program. We have also listed down the curriculum for next 5 years. So let's say first year you have basic computer skills, and you can get an outcome of the program, the curriculum, the subject as well. Once you scroll down, you can see some of the honors elective, language elective, area elective, department electives, which are being offered in BA LLB honors program. And here comes the monetary aspect, the fees and the scholarship. Although the without scholarship fees for this program was 1,20,000 per semester, but we have different scholarships on the basis of which you can avail maximum benefit. Let's say you score between 80 to 89.9% in your 12th. You will directly fall in category 3, that is of 30%, and your fees will be reduced to 84,000 per semester. If you score between 90 to 94.9% in your 12th, you will fall in category 2, that is of 35%, and your fees will be directly reduced to 78,000 per semester. And last but not the least, if you score 95% or above in your 12th, you'll fall in category 1, that is of 40% scholarship, and your fees will be reduced to 72,000 per semester. So see how much you are saving just on the basis of your 12th percentage. But let's say you couldn't score well in your 12th, you stuck at 70s or 60s, not an issue. You still have an opportunity to avail scholarship on the basis of the LP NEST exam. Here you can see that we have mentioned the tentative cutoff for LP NEST. The exam will be for 200 marks, and this is the tentative cutoff. You require to fall in category 1, 2, 3 scholarship simultaneously. And not just this, you will have two chances. Let's say you couldn't do well in your first chance, you can apply for the second chance. If you perform better in the second chance, that one scholarship we'll consider it for eligibility purposes. And once you scroll down, you can see some other details. We have also listed down some other scholarships, like scholarship on the basis of your CUET. Once your result is out, you can get your mark sheet verified if you are getting a better scholarship on the basis of CUET. You can also avail scholarship on the basis of CLAT rankings, starting from like 5,000, 2,001 to 5,000, and again. Apart from this, we have other scholarships like scholarship on the basis of innovation, startup, entrepreneurship. So if you fall under any such category, feel free to get in touch with us. We also have special toppers of education board scholarship if you fall in the merit list of 2023 academic session. Apart from this, we also have some financial aids for economically weaker section, single girl child, single mother child, etc. We have scholarships for dependents and for defense, CAPF, paramilitary personals. We also have financial aid for orphans, for certain disability, and also in case of blind. So if you know any such nearby, you can share such information with them as well, which can help them to pursue their dreams to study in one of the leading universities. Apart from this, if you want to inquire us about any of the scholarship, feel free to mail us on our email ID, which is admissions@lpu.co.in. So I'll just wind up quickly with another important part, that is the important dates. As you can see that we are already done with our previous schedule, and the allotment letters are already out for those students on 22nd April. And the last date to apply for the students who have already got their allotment letters is 30th April. So hurry up guys, book your seat by making initial payment. You can visit us or you can do it online. And for the students, those who haven't even applied for the entrance test yet, they haven't even started their application, today is the last day to submit your request for LPU NEST application, because you will be getting exam date till 30th April. You can give the exam in online mode, or you can also visit the university for the exam, or and then your exam will be declared on 5th May. And once your result has been declared on 5th May, you need to participate in another important part, that is the seat preference. So between 5th to 7th May, you need to mark your preference at whether you want to go for the BB LLB honors or the BA LLB honors program. And once you have done that, on 9th May, you will receive an allotment letter stating which program you have admitted into. And between 9th to 15th May, you can proceed with your registration with initial payment. And again, if you have any queries related to this, feel free to get in touch with us. We have listed our helpline numbers on the right side of the screen. You can get in touch with us via schedule a call icon. Our WhatsApp team is available for you. You can also get in touch with us through live video counseling through Zoom application. Apart from this, we have listed down our helpline numbers down there on the website. Last, I'll wind up with how you can register for it. You just simply need to visit our official website, admission.lpu.in. And if you haven't registered, make sure that you register yourself by entering your name, email ID, OTP, etc. And if you have already registered, you just need to directly log in. You can log in with the credentials, or you can also log in via OTP through your registered mobile number. So over to you, Himanshi ma'am. I hope I have shared majority of the information with our students, which can be helpful to apply for admissions at LPU. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I believe that was again an insightful presentation for all the attendees regarding the admission queries. And since we're not getting any questions, so I believe all the queries of the students and attendees have been resolved. So with this, I shall take permission from all the attendees now. And of course, you, ma'am, can I wrap the session up? Okay, then thank you so much to all the participants and attendees for joining in the session. And I hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed the session like I have, and all your queries have been resolved by now. And if you have other queries that are there, you can, as ma'am told, you can directly visit our site or maybe call us. So until next time, stay safe and stay healthy, and thank you so much.